So hello guys, welcome back to my channel where you get to know AWS better. So today's video is about AWS S3's hands-off. So today we are going to see how we can implement AWS S3 in Spring Boot application. So let's just dive straight into it. So to create Spring Boot application, we will use Spring Initializer. It's just a web application which helps you create a Spring Boot project for us. So we just need to select some configurations here. So for us, we will use the project as Maven. Language we will use is Java. And for Spring Boot, we are going to use the version 3.5.3 here. These snapshot versions are just the beta versions which are not fully developed yet. So for our project which we are making, we are use the group AWS hands-on. Our project name will be S3 tutorial. Packaging will be jar and jar version 70. We have already added dependency here, which is a Spring Web dependency. I've already installed this, they downloaded this file and made a project out of this here in my Eclipse environment. And let me just show you the POM file for it. This is a POM file. These are the dependencies which came when we added the dependency Spring Web in our application. This is this dependency for AWS, which I added here. Why we have added it in dependency management? It's because whatever group dependency will be using this group ID, they all will be getting this common configuration for them. The version will be 3.0.1. As we are going to implement S3, so we have used this dependency for AWS SDK specific to our resource. Now just let's jump into our application. So this is our application right now. So moving forward, now let's just make a controller for us. We'll make a controller package first. We make a controller class in this package. This class will be used as a request mapping class. Let's just name it as the controller. This request mapping class will help us to map the request for upload to this particular controller. For that, we will need an annotation. Let's map it. We will create a different APIs in it. And all these APIs are for S3. So let's consider this is the URL we are going to use. Let's just make the function. This function will take a request parent, which will be of type file. Let's just map the function URL. It will be a post mapping upload. So the file which we will be getting will be, we will take this as a data type for us, multi-part file. What does multi-part file do? It takes a file and manages all the content of it. Also, it provides us different variables. Let me just show you the multi-part file with its declaration. So you can see we can get the name of the file, origin file name, content type, and all, as parallelity and all. So multi-part file class just basically provides us all the required operations we need to do on a file. This function will have response. Let's just provide it with response application string. It will responses with okay. Trial is appeared. So we need to also provide the bucket name for our history. We'll create a bucket in S3 later. Let's just name it right now. It will be a string type. Name supposed to S2IT. As there is a condition in S3 that no bucket can be of the same name throughout the S3s all over the world. So each S3 should have a unique identifier. So that's why I have added too many variables in a test for you to the YP and permanent have added record. So that's why its name is like this. Now let's take our Visual 5 for our depart file. We create a 10 file out of it. I'll just tell you why we are making this temporary file here. And this will be also a file. We provide it with the name, which will be our key. Let's just note this variable key. Key is nothing, just the real name that are using file for our file. We put the content of the multi-part file into our file. Now, why we have made this temporary file is because AWS SDK does not upload the file to the type multi-part file. We need to create a file in local, as this multi-part file is just for temporary storage. It's just in temporary storage. We need to make a file in our local with the empty card files. So that's why we have created this. And we use this file to upload. Now, we'll need an S3 service, which will upload file on S3 for us. We'll provide it with the bucket name, key, and the original file. This will need to upload. We'll make this service and we will use its being here. So let's just jump into making the S3 service for us. Just like a controller, we will make S3 package first, service package first. In this service package, we will make the service class. Now, this as it's a service, let's just annotate it with service and ignore controller itself. We need to annotate it as a REST controller. As we are making REST APIs in it, this will be a REST controller. Now, in a service, we make a function, will return nothing to us, only upload file, will take bucket name, which will be a type string, and will take key, and also sub. Now, to put this file into S3, we need to create a put object. We'll use class put object request. With the print, sorry, which will take bucket, was it bucket name, dot key, Once we have this, we will use this put object, and our S3 client will put this particular object in our S3 for us. So we will need an S3 client. Let's just name this variable. Let's just start with the first object. As S3 client, we'll be using this group object. That's why I changed the name or code. The object request. You also need to provide the file to it, which will be of the type repository dot I'm sorry. We provide a file to it. I just import the file here first. Now we'll also use S3 client. I will tell you will take its blue why we need it. I will tell you that. Let's just first make our config file. Our config file will be making the client for us because we need to provide the AWS credentials also to our client. That's why we are naming it as a config. So let's just make its package first. In this package will create a config class, assessment, storage config, and it's a configuration will on get it as configuration. Right. Now in this configuration file, we are making the going to make the S3 client which will be public. This S3 client, we are going to read our AWS credentials using which AWS will permit us to access the S3 and to put objects in it. So for that, I've already added uh, AWS credentials in the application properties file. Application properties file is in resources, and springBoot can access it to pick the objects out of it. We'll just show the file. I've already added my AWS credentials here. I've blurred them because they are private and you can access them from your IAM console in your AWS account. And as per the user, each user can have their credentials. So I made those credentials and use them. You can get the uh, credentials from there. Let's just use this. Use this credentials value. Sys- private to this class. System with access to. Then let's just import our secret key. It will be private too. We also need the AWS region in which we are uploading. So now when you have all these pages, we now need to make our S3 client. For that we will use AWS basic credentials class for us. This is AWS credentials. We use a create function of it. We take the access key and secret key. Now we'll return the S3 plan and use the builder function. We'll take the region using the bridge region. And we'll take credentials for that we'll use credential provider. With the scripts. So now this will provide us with the S3 client for us. For our use case, we also need to make it as a bean. So the irony is that we need to make the region out of it. Region of. We also need to create the credential provider object for this. That we will use static credential provider class and its create function. So now this will create the AWS credentials for us. Let's just reconfirm that we have used the right keywords here. We use successfully when we see this region. Yeah. So it's all right. Now let's jump into our client. We also need to import this product. Let's just jump into the controller. All right. We also need to handle the in progress exception. So to upload this file, we would also need a form in the HTML format. So we will create a static HTML file in our static resources. File name will be to.html. Now, what will happen that our string will immediately take this particular upload HTML file and render it for us. And then from there, when we upload the file, so this is the input which we are giving to our controller. And this is the main which we had used. If you can see, this is the name which we have used as a request parameter. This is the URL which we need API S3 uploads to hit request on this upload file here. Our uploads HTML is posting an action using the form and expect heat and this particular environment. So hopefully it's all good. Let's just build a zip. Now let's just run this application. So now it's running on 8080. Let's just check it. So yeah, that file is rendering correctly. Just upload anything onto it. Just upload the engine file. Load. Voila. We got this file is uploaded to S3. This is the string which you are giving out as a response in case if everything goes well. So let's just check our AWS S3. Yeah. So let's just also discuss how we can create a bucket. So in our case, we only need the general purpose bucket. So here we need to provide the AWS bucket name, which we are going to provide. And it should be unique. It will validate that input for you and it will provide you if it's not a unique name for the AWS S3. So you can then create the bucket here, leave the rest of the configurations as it is. Now, when we have already created a bucket, so let's just move into it. You can see here, let's just refresh it. So yeah, we got our file here. So yeah, our code worked fine. We will add more APIs onto it in future. So in this video, I just want to discuss with you how we can implement AWS S3 onto our springBoot application using the AWS SDK. And we have used a whole MVC model here. And we have gone through the controller, service, and config file. How config file is taking inputs from the application with properties to inject our credentials into the client, and how we are using the client to call AWS S3 from our service. So this was it for this video. So I hope you like this video, and if this video provided you value on any level, then please let us know in the comments. And also please like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get tuned to more videos on AWS. Thank you.